To the state revolt against Syrian refugees. The latest count has 27 states saying no to taking in those refugees, and one state led by a Democrat governor, that will be New Hampshire. Congressman Scott DesJarlais joins us now. He's a Republican from Tennessee. Congressman, your state has said no, you're not coming, but this is a symbolic act because you can't actually say none of these refugees can come to the state of Tennessee. It's symbolic, really, isn't it?
Well, it's a case where our governor and several other governors are actually listening to the people who elected them. It's refreshing to see that. Now we need a president that will actually listen to the people across America and hear what they're telling him, that we have a problem with resettling refugees that can't be properly vetted.
Now, is that to some degree inhumane? There are refugees who are really in terrible shape. Women and children who are indeed bona fide refugees on a humanitarian basis. We are closing the door to those people. And that is inhumane, is it not?
Now, my responsibility and the President's responsibility, first and foremost, is to protect the people of the United States of America. There are ways to deal with humanitarian crisis, and right now we have no source within Syria, as mentioned by the Secretary or the FBI Director, James Comey, that we don't have the proper information to know whether the people that would be coming to America have links to terrorism. ISIS has already said that they're trying to infiltrate the refugee program. We saw that possibility the attack in France came from a refugee through Greece. So I don't think it's a fact that we're not humanitarian in nature or that we're not willing to help people in need. We can have no-fly zones. We can set up safe zones in Syria or northern Iraq and help these people.
Now, in the back of your mind, is there something which is saying we want to limit the size of the Muslim population in the United States, and that's why we wish to keep out Muslim migrants from Syria? I mean, in the back of your mind, is that there?
Now, in the front of my mind is that there is a radical faction of Islam. Radical Islamic terrorism is real, and the president needs to come to grips with this. Muslims have come to grips with this. If there was a radical faction within the Christian religion, Christians would be the first to step up to eradicate that. We need a coalition led by Muslim nations as well as the current nations. We have France engaged. We have Russia engaged. America, shamefully, is leading from behind on this. People look to us to step up and fight this. So this isn't about not having Muslims in America. It's listening to Muslims who agree that there is a radical faction within their religion, and it's making everybody look bad. ISIS is real. The Islamic State is exactly that. It is terrorists that are bent on killing not just Americans, but people around the world, and that's why other countries are joining into the fight.
Would you allow Christians in, but not Muslims? Would you do that? A religious test? Would you do that?
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, we have a problem with our immigration program in general. So we have people that can't immigrate here legally because our system's so broken. Now we're talking about refugees jumping line and being flown in. And in this case, we have refugees that we don't know aren't wanting to do harm to America. So I think right now you just freeze the refugee program because you cannot guarantee the safety of the American citizens.
Congressman DesJarlais, thank you very much indeed for joining us on an important subject. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Stuart.
More on that when we speak to Florida's Governor Rick Scott in the next hour. He is not taking refugees either, and the left is calling that policy racist and inhumane. Rick Scott on this show.